So if you know anything at all about O'Neill and O'Neill's reviews, you'll know that O'Neill tries to be as objective as possible. So when we went off air last night, I mean, Anthony was having a whole discussion with Amber. Hopefully, I can probably review that skit about the club. So the club has come back up again as an issue, and now he has other questions he wants to ask Amber about the club. Let's get into it.
Baby, I know you try to do everything, with the club and the house, and you got a lot going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But when we got married, it wasn't just about your dreams and my dreams. It was about our dreams.
All right, here's what's wrong with that. When they got married, yes, it was about their dreams, right? But I think what Anthony's missing is that he didn't do a good job in the beginning of establishing certain things. Whatever he has now have to have happen with Shayla has not made it easier either. But hey, I mean, let's see how she responds.
And I know you do a lot with the club and everything, but the club is interfering with our dream, which is our marriage. And baby,
What are you talking about, Anthony?
you don't have to give that club up.
All right, so yes, him coming out and saying it. Hey, you need to give the club itself up. All right, time on the club, that does make sense. Her spending time at the club makes sense. This is supposed to be a wealthy man, so in other words, you want to take care of her. That does make sense. The problem with this, though, is that they have had a scenario where she's asked for things and she hasn't gotten them. They've had a scenario like that. No, they have somewhere him offered and he gave out a lot of things going. But she has asked for a lot of things and she hasn't gotten them. So my thing now is maybe her rebuttal here so should be, what about the joint account? Because unless she has some blanket of security, knowing what she has known and being how it is with Anthony, I probably wouldn't have her diving into this.
Wait. What? Give the club up? Why?
Yes, you do a lot for that club. And sometimes you just need to be home. It's taken a lot out of you. It's taken a lot out of our marriage. And I know when we first got in business and we decided to take over the club, it really wasn't that much a big deal. But given everything that we've been through, we don't even need any more distractions.
I don't know if the club is a distraction. I think the club is more of what you call it now, a place of coping. The club is more like a coping skill for Amber than anything else because she gets to go do something somewhere else rather than staying at home in the same environment where she has all of these things that have happened to her before. So I wouldn't actually do this. That's why I'm saying I have mixed views and mixed opinion on this because while I can understand what he wants to do, meaning that he wants to take care of her and he wants to get things done, yeah, but the thing is you haven't kind of established that. And so because of that, there needs to be safeguards in place for a period of time. Not want to say all for forever, but for a period of time before the club could be given up, in my estimation.
And I just think that we should give it up.
Anthony, I've worked really hard.
I know.
And what about holiday? And I like going to work. I like my independence.
I understand that. But when you became my wife, I took those vows and I said I was going to take care of you. So let me do that. Sometimes I don't like you just getting dressed and going out there and...
But I like getting dressed.
I understand that. But sometimes I just want you laying around, just being the queen that you are.
Yeah, it feels like Anthony's trying to isolate her to or confine her to the house in itself. All right, if this is the case, then might as well then you have her work in your business. So there's two requests I'm gonna have for Anthony, but let's see how Amber Ann handles this. My request would be, all right, well, am I going to be working with you then? So that way I actually do something because Amber is a young girl, so she has to stay productive some way, somehow. She can't just sit down inside of a big old house and do nothing. That's not great because that's going to also fester her having resentment because she has nowhere to put all of that energy, that mental energy that she has, that vim, that vigor and vitality that she have right now. There's nowhere to push that. And unless, again, unless I'm gonna make her get pregnant and she have some babies to raise, and that becomes her new job, right? Where them can say, okay, well, you know what, you take care of the kids and I go to work. If that's the case, then sure, I mean, this makes sense. But having her just quitting her job out of thin air, and and again, I know him is a millionaire, but the truth is not like Amber is a girl that is not very productive. She's extremely productive. And when you take people's production away like this, it tends to affect them because there's nowhere for them to put that energy.
I don't want you going out into that club and dealing with all that kind of energy and then coming back home. All right, so I think the best thing that we should do is just call Holiday and just part ways with the club.
Well, you are my husband, and you do lead the household. So if you feel that strongly about it, then yeah. Okay.
Trust me, babe. It's for the best. All right?
Again, something doesn't smell right about it. There's something about that don't smell right. I know he's been having issues with the club, and it's not like he hasn't been having issues with the club. But I'm like, why? What is she going to do? That's kind of my question. What else is she going to do? You see, maybe, and that's what I'm saying. For a wealthy businessman like this, Anthony's not even thinking, because if this was me and I'm thinking I really want my wife, this is how I would be thinking as a real man, right? Not that I'm fake, but hey, this is what it is. But as a male, this is how I'd be thinking. I'd be thinking, you know what? I already earned millions of dollars. We don't have children. We want to have children. How about I pay for IVF, right? Amber gets pregnant. She gets to stay home. That is something for Amber to do at that point in time. Then she'll be able to do that. Then she can take care of the kids, and the kids can be her responsibility as she raise the kids, whatever it is. And I know, don't get into the whole idea of this. Not, you're going to give me the 1950s, whatever it is. The point of the matter is this: if the man extremely wealthy and them have kids, and she can stay home, she can stay home. That's fine, right? Because then the kids would be her place where she would output to them, whether it's bring them to their different practices, whatever it is that they have going on, or she bring them to school. She can help them with the learning, all of those things. She could pretty much do that, and that would give her something to do. The problem I'm having is that her quitting the club and having nothing to replace it. Nothing. When it is you do these things, chances are where you'll end up is maybe you start drinking. This is why I'm a little bit against it, because you may have her end up start drinking because there's nothing for her to do. So now one glass of wine start turning to two glasses of wine. Two glass turn into three glass turn into four glass, and you understand exactly where I'm going. Till it becomes a snowball effect and is a huge problem that no one can address. So having her quit the club, I don't know. Because look at her face when Emma ask her for quit. It's not like she's happy to say, well, yeah, sure, I've always wanted to let it go. That's not even the face she's giving you. The face she's giving you is, hey, I like this for myself. This is something that I've been doing. This may be the thing that has been keeping Amber up. And you can't take away people's productivity. You just can't. You just can't. If that's something that they do, that you know what I mean, they do very well, and it gives them, that probably is what helps with her confidence, that helps her to smile each day, that helps that when she's home, she's not over fixated on things she shouldn't be fixated on. So I don't quite agree as to where this is going, and I don't know. I mean, I still have some peace in the back of my mind as to, maybe Anthony want this so she can solely depend on himself, him can control her. That could be it. That could be it. Where literally he's trying to get her into a weak position where Shayla is into. And that may be the reason why I'm very hesitant to say yes. Normally in these circumstances, but I say, well, hey, I mean, yeah, the woman should, whatever, it's because, hey, she's doing another thing. But again, unless I have two stipulations then. Hopefully she comes up and asks about the joint account. That's one. Or two, that he works in her business. That she works in his business. If she's working in his business, then it gives them the same look of closeness that he's talking about. Have her do something in her business then. Have her be a part of your business so she have something to do. Just like what Wayne had her going on with. You know so happy she was when she did that? Have her work in your business then. If that's not the case, then I think my answer to it at the end right here so is an emphatic no. That's my take on it. Give me y'all stake, like, share, comment, subscribe, and talk to y'all soon.